Jared Dillian. Own your money, own your life.
I'm Jared Dillian. This is the Jared Dillian Show. If you want to call to talk about your money, please call 844-305-7800. That's 844-305-7800. This is the Jared Dillian Show. Yeah, it sucks that Dave's not going to be here. The dude is always doing family stuff, you know. So I know what he makes a year, approximately. And he works maybe 8 months out of the year. The rest of it is going to Illinois, going to Florida, going to Wisconsin, you know, just doing all family stuff. Like, he takes a ridiculous amount of time off. And I said to him one time, I'm like, dude, you work like 25 hours a week. He says, no, I don't. I work 40 hours a week. I'm like, yeah, but if you average in all the time that you're doing family stuff, it works out to about 25 hours a week, which gets back to something we've talked on the show about many times. One easy way to make more money is just to work more. You know? Like, that's this is how economic output, okay, GDP, is basically the number of people working times the number of hours they work times how productively they work, right? So, yeah, if you want to make more money, just work more. Except in the case of me, for the last 2 years, I've been working more and haven't made more money. So, anyway, let's say you go visit your financial advisor and you tell them that you are conservative, not politically. I mean, with your attitude toward risk. You're conservative about risk. And you want to be in stuff that is safe. Okay, you go to your financial advisor, you're like, I want to be in stuff that is safe. So what does this guy do? He puts you all in stocks. He's like, but I put you in the safe stocks. Put you in utilities, put you in dividend-paying stocks, put you in the safe stocks. But that's not safe. It's still stocks. It's equity risk. It's not safe. So you're like, no, this doesn't work for me. I don't want to be in all stocks. I want to be more safe. So then he says, okay, we're going to give you 60% stocks and 40% corporate bonds, okay, which is still not safe. You know, corporate bonds can go down a lot. You know, if you go back to the last couple of credit cycles, not the one during the pandemic, but like 2008, 2002, high-yield corporate bonds went down as much as 30%, and investment-grade corporate bonds went down as much as 10 or 15%. So there's a lot of risk there. So you say it's not safe enough. I want to be more safe, okay? So he says, okay, we're going to put you in Treasury bonds and limited duration funds. That should be safe. But that's not really safe either, because there's a lot of duration risk in Treasury bonds. And if you don't know what duration risk is, that's the risk that interest rates go up. If interest rates go up, bond prices go down. And right now, all the treasuries are very low coupon, so they have even more duration, which is sensitivity to interest rates. So if you own a 30-year treasury bond and interest rates go up 1%, you lose about 23% of your principal. It's massive amounts of risk. So still not safe. Okay. So you're like, I want to be in cash. So he puts you in a money market fund. Not safe. I mean, it's safe like 99.9999% of the time, but it wasn't safe during the financial crisis when the reserve primary fund broke the buck and traded down to 97 cents, and there was a run on money market funds. The money market system in the United States is a mess. There's a ton of risk. So it's still not safe. So you're like, all right, I'm just going to have cash in the bank. Okay, still not safe. The first $250,000 is safe, okay, because that's FDIC insured, right? So if you have $430,000 in the bank and $250,000 of it is FDIC insured, the $180,000 of it is not. So that's not safe, right? So what is safe? Is gold safe? Well, gold moves around a lot, you know. A couple years ago it was down around 1,000. Now it's at 1,800. It was at 2,000 plus before. Still not safe. The only thing that is truly safe are stacks of $100 bills in your house. But that's not safe because now we have 5% inflation and those $100 bills are losing 5% of their money every year. Isn't that wild? Nothing is safe. I mean, you say you're a conservative investor, but there's no place to hide. Okay. And the point is that you have to make decisions about what types of risks you are willing to accept. Okay. And there are some people that are very paranoid and they have the $100 bills and they have the gold. Right. And that, I mean, I guess on a continuum of, not safe to almost safe, like that's about as safe as you can get, but there's still risk. There's risk in that. There's massive amounts of risk. Back in 2011, when people were loaded up on gold and silver, gold and silver crashed and stocks went straight up for the next 10 years. So you missed out on a lot of gains. So it's not safe. By the way, when you're talking about the $100 bills, who is completely fine in all of this? Is the criminals. Because the criminals don't have their money in the financial system, right? They couldn't get their money in the system in the first place, so they just have money outside the financial system because $100 bills don't go down, What's safe? Maybe T-bills. I guess T-bills are safe. But that's about it, Because in times of stress, financial markets do all kinds of crazy stuff. Right. And in a 22-year career, I'd like to say I've seen it all, but I haven't seen it all. I'll see crazier stuff. It never stops. There was a pretty good book back in the 90s called Pitbull by a guy named Marty Schwartz, who was a futures trader. And he seems like a gigantic jackass. I don't think I like him in person. Anyway, there was one point in his career, I don't know if it was 87 or something like that, but there was something going on in the markets, and he says, I'm out, and he takes all his money out of the markets and he puts it in gold and T-bills, right? Gold hasn't been safe. It's been kind of a disaster. Here's the point. If you don't want to lose money in the market, then don't put money in the market. They have these things called tail risk funds. I've talked about them on the show before. And a tail risk fund buys options, buys put options on the S&P, buys call options on the VIX, buys call options on gold, buys call options on bonds, deep out of the money, the options. So when the markets crash, all of these options pay off, okay, in a black swan event. And I'm sure no economist in their 2020 forecast talked about a disease that grew from people eating snakes and bats that would cover the earth and kill millions of people. You just don't know. 30 to 50% of people are better off with cash in a bank account. People thought that they were going to make 12% a year. Clearly that's not happening. The purpose of volatility is to make people make stupid decisions. See you next time. I'm Jared Dillian. This is The Jared Dillian Show.
The Jared Dillian Show.